Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of Terraform. And today we'll be going through how to create an EC2 instance in AWS, right? Basically, what we are going to do here is that I'll kind of go through AWS console and show you guys how we can create this one manually from the console, and also how we can apply the same changes in Terraform configuration files, right? Let's kind of jump in and see what we can do. If you kind of click here, it is going to take me straight, and this is not the right code that I want. I'll go ahead and change this one later on. The one that I'm going to use here, the code is called Terraform. Let me go ahead here and go to Terraform concepts, and the one that I will be using here is called Terraform learning Terraform basics. If you click here on the main, I'll be using this sample code here, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put the link of this GitHub repository in the description of this video, right? So that if you really want to kind of check out the same code and follow exactly what I will be doing here, you can do that without any issue. Right now, if you want to create an EC2 instance, what do you need? First of all, let us start from AWS console and see what we need. We want to create an EC2 instance. And after that, we'll now check the code, the Terraform configuration code, and see the minimum requirement that we need to kind of launch an EC2 instance in AWS. Let me go ahead here and log in my AWS account. If you tap just AWS and hit connect. By the way, I'm using one password here to connect. Here, I can click on EC2. Right now, I might have one EC2 instance running here. If I want to launch a new one, I can just click on launch. And here, this is the first thing that they are going to ask me. What is the instance name? As you can see, the instance name here, it is within the tag, right? The instance name it in within the tag. How are you going to put the same thing here in Terraform configuration? That means everything that we are going to manipulate here through AWS console, I will be showing you guys exactly where that can be found in the code, right? Now, if you go back here, by the way, this code here, you can basically grab one sample in just in Terraform documentation, and you can modify it. Let's say you just copy AWS_instance and you hit here in Google and you type this. It will take you here to the documentation, and you can see what you basically need to create an EC2 instance in AWS. You did stuff like an AMI ID, the instance type, the tenancy if you want, and so on. Now, I kind of take this one and modify it a little bit so that it is going to suit our needs, right? Now, let me here go ahead and add a tag. I am going to add, I'll call this one EC2-console. That means we are going to create this one through the console, and that's it. How am I going to put this one in Terraform code? Let me go ahead and navigate, because I really like to work with VS Code. That means I'm going to navigate to this location. If you open my terminal, I've closed down this code already, and it is located in code here, and the name is Terraform. Let me go ahead. Let me kind of see the into code, or I can just tap here to see everything that is in this folder called code here, and I can tap Terraform, not Terraform. I can seed it in code once, type ls, and I'm going to seed it into Terraform down, and that is cool. ls, I am in there. I will kind of seed in into the path that I copy to get where the code is. If you type pwd, I am in learning basics command. Cool. I can type code and dot to open my VS Code where I am right now. As you guys can see here, this is the code that I basically had in GitHub, right? Now, here, we put the name of the VM already, which is within the tag. If you guys can see here, this is tag. And if you go to AWS, as you guys can see, we also have here the name and tags, right? That means tags end with X, which means we can add multiple tag. We can add multiple tag, right? Now, the first one, I basically add the first one here, that is a name. Let me add another tag here, and I will just say, okay, new tag, and I will say create bar. For instance, I'll just saying that this resource was create underscore, or create underscore, and I say by. Most of the time when it's created by Terraform, we will say create by Terraform. The tag value, I will just say manual, because we are going to create this instance manually. Now, how can I add the same tag also in Terraform? I can go ahead here, as you guys can see here in the code. I say create by Terraform. That means I basically added so tag already, and this is what we just did in AWS console, which is here. Now, let us move on. Here, we are going to choose exactly what type of instance are we going to launch. Here, I'm going to launch an Ubuntu instance, right? As I click on Ubuntu instance, and here, you can also see in Terraform code, it's asking you, what is the type? What is the type of the instance that you want to launch? We don't really put a type, but instead we'll put the Amazon machine image that we want to create this instance from. As you guys can see here, as I click here, it's telling me that, hey, you want to use Ubuntu, and this will be the Amazon machine image that it is going to use to create that. And I can copy that and go ahead and add it here in my code, that I'm going to use this Amazon machine image to create this EC2 instance. Now, when you choose this, you need to choose the size of the instance, right? You want a T2 nano, you want a T2 micro, you want a T2 small, medium, and so on. We'll just go ahead and create a T2 small. For this demo, it is okay, right? Like I put here T2 demo, and this is instance type. And if you check here carefully, you guys can see here, I have the instance type here, and that is equal to a T2 micro. Same thing that I have in the console. Let us move on. Here, we have the key name. Basically, I have multiple key that I already created in my account, and I have one here called Terraform AWS. As you guys can see, I basically selected the key name that I want to launch this instance. How are you going to put that in the code? If you check here, you see key name, which equal, that is this argument, and this is the value, which is Terraform underscore AWS key. Now, let us move on. When we are here, we kind of need to choose the security group. By default, if you don't create the security group, what will happen is that one default security group will be created and called Launch Wizard 2, and it is going to allow only port 22 to connect to the EC2 instance, right? I don't want to do that. I basically have a security group created that is all traffic. And if you open this one in new tab, let me open this one in new tab. Oh, no, let me duplicate this instead. I will duplicate this tab, and I can go ahead here, go back, and if you click on EC2 and click the security group, you guys will see that I basically have one security group called allow all tag. And if we check what is inbound role, inbound here, I just open everything, right? And outbound is all traffic for now, just for this demonstration. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I am going to grab the security group of the security group ID that I basically attach also to this instance, and this is how you put the VPC security group. As you guys can see, the VPC security group here, it is a list, right? Why? Because you can attach multiple security group to an EC2 instance. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to attach one security group in this case. Now, what is the subnet ID? In which availability zone do you want to launch this EC2 instance? As you guys can see, this security group basically was created within my default VPC. As you guys can see, if I click on this VPC, this will be my default VPC. Now, within this default VPC, in which subnet here did I want to create that EC2 instance? Basically, I can grab this first subnet that I want to create this in US East 1E, and I can copy the subnet. And as you guys can see here, if we go to the manual one, we can go ahead and specify. I am go ahead and specify the subnet here where I'm going to create the subnet ID. I can punch my subnet ID here where I want to create this instance. That means, hey, go ahead and create this in this oh, hold on, let me see here. Look, I make a mistake somewhere. Now, just the subnet ID. This is basically where I want to create the EC2 instance. Now, let us move on again. Here, we choose that already. Another configuration here, that advanced configuration, it is where we can go ahead and attach a new volume. And we are not going to do that now. We just want to create a very simple, right, EC2 instance. Storage and volume, I'm not going to attach something. Advanced details. Now, we have something here called a user data. I'm not going to add a user data now, but if you guys are really interested, if you want to know how to create an EC2 instance and basically add a user data in Terraform, please let me know in the comment below, and I will go ahead and create another video, and I will show you guys how you can kind of add a user data. The purpose of the user data is what? It's just a script that is going to run when your EC2 instance basically boots up, right? That script will run first. Now, let me go up here. I need to go ahead and kind of attach the storage. By default, we were having one here. Let's say simple, advanced. That tab just kind of disappear. I'm not seeing the root device, but it's not here no more. But it was here, it just kind of disappeared. And I know that by default, it is going to create an instance and it's going to attach a volume. It's right here. It is going to attach this volume of 8 gig, right? How are you going to do the same thing? How are you going to attach this 8 gig of storage so that will be your root file system? You go ahead here and create a block here in Terraform, and that block is called root block device. And I'm saying here that my size will be 10, and I can add more. I can say 100, I can say 8, but no. Here, the default size for a Linux operating system, this root block device, it is 8 gig. And if you are launching a Windows, the default one, it is 30 gig. That means you cannot put less than 8 gig for Linux, and you cannot put less than 30 gig if you are launching a Windows machine. And here we explain basically what this tag is doing. And when this is done, we can go ahead and fire up this EC2 instance. And what it's going to do here, it is going to fire just one, and through the console, we can kind of specify the number of instances that we want to launch. And right now, we're just going to launch one. And if you really want to know also how to specify the number of instances that you want to launch here, please let me know in the comment below, and I will go ahead and create another video and show you guys how to use count, right? How to use count and also for each in Terraform to create multiple instances at the same time. Instead of just going here, we duplicate the block of code and we say instance 1, instance 2, and so on. We can now use the count method argument that we have in Terraform to go ahead and launch multiple EC2 instances at the same time. Let me know in the comment below. Here, what we are going to do here is just put one. We just want to launch one EC2 instance. And if you go ahead here and say, boom, create instance, this will go ahead and launch one EC2 instance, and this will be called EC2 console. While this is creating, let us go ahead here and I'll hook over to my terminal here. I have where the code is here, and I will type Terraform init, and I will initialize this to download the provider. And when this is done with timeline, I will go ahead also and fire this one up, and we'll see the difference, if there's any difference. And I will say Terraform apply. And I will just say yes, because I know that you want to create one EC2 instance. That is cool. And let us go to the browser. EC2 instance here, this is running already so far, right? This means I can kind of select this and say connect, and just grab here, and I have my key. I have my key here. Let me just open a new terminal, and I will use the ZSH here to switch. Oops, okay, that is fine. I will go ahead. Okay, I know exactly what to do. Ubuntu, and I will use my ZSH terminal. and boom, I'll go ahead here and kind of connect. I have my key already. If you CD into keys and type ls, you guys will see that I have my Terraform keys here. If you type ls-l, you guys will see that I basically kind of give the proper permission to the key already. So that means I kind of use the chmod 400 already. If you see here through the console, here, AWS will say, okay, you need to chmod 400 and the key. I've done that already, and that is where I will just paste the command here, and I will be able to connect. If you say yes, as you guys can see, I am in that instance already, and I can type sudo -i to switch as a root user, and that's cool. This is the one that was created through the console. I will go ahead and exit. I'll go ahead and exit, right? And we'll kind of see the one that was created through Terraform and see if it is the same thing. Here, if you check my terminal, as you guys can see here, everything applies successfully. And let us go over to AWS. I'm going to instances. We'll see one here is called VM, and that is the name because the tag was VM, right? And if we click on that and kind of check the tags here, you guys will see the tag here is created by Terraform. This one, the instance name is called VM. And also, if we check the one that was created through the console, it is this one. If you click on this one and we click on tag, you guys will see that the tag is created by manual, and the name is EC2 instance. It's EC console. It's supposed to kind of be EC2, but we just put EC console. That's fine. Now, let me go ahead and connect also to this VM. If you just select this and also copy this, go to my terminal where the key is. I know that I have my key in here. If you type ls, as you guys can see, the Terraform aws.perm is there. If you hit enter, and I will say yes, as you guys can see, I am in already, and I can go ahead and switch as a root, and I can do whatever I want. So with sudo-i, we are using sudo-i to just switch as a root, right? And I will go ahead and exit, and I will go ahead and destroy all the resources, right? When you are done with your exercise, please make sure that you go ahead and destroy everything so that you will not get charged. Otherwise, AWS will charge you if you keep this thing up and running and you are not within the free tier, right? I'll go ahead here and type Terraform destroy because I'm done with my exercise. I will do the cleanup. Terraform destroy, and I will agree that I want to do that. I will say yes. And also go to AWS, make sure that I clean up the one that I created through the console, which is basically this instance here called VM. This is state here called console, and I will just say instance state, and I will go ahead and terminate this EC2 instance. And that's it. Guys, what we have done today is just like a really basic, right? A really basic EC2 instance using Terraform, right? If you guys want to see advanced option, right, how we can kind of create an EC2 instance properly, and also even an EC2 instance module, which means a custom module, right? A module from scratch that will go ahead and launch that. Let's say you want to create, it doesn't matter what you want to do. If you want to create a Windows machine, the module can handle that. If you want to create Ubuntu machine, that the module can handle that. If you want to create Red Hat or CentOS, that the module can handle that. That means we're trying to write a module that can go ahead. It only one module, but it can handle everything that we want. If we want to create Amazon Linux, it can do that. If we want to create Ubuntu, it can do that. If you want to create Red Hat or CentOS, or if you want to even create a Microsoft Windows server, you can go ahead and do that. If you guys really want to know how to do that, please let me know in the comment below, and I will go ahead and create a video for that, and we can go ahead and cook up a module that it can be used in the real world to do all this stuff, right? But today's video, it was just a baby one, how we can create a simple AWS instance and also all the options that we need, right? And also, if all this argument that we use, all this argument here that we basically use here within the resource can be found just within the documentation. If you want to see all the argument, the one that are required and also the one that are optional, you can always check the Terraform documentation and you will see all those arguments mentioned there. Or you can also even use ChatGPT. You can use this guy here called ChatGPT and ask him how to right, create. You can use this and basically say create an EC2 instance in AWS using Terraform. This guy will go ahead and create it, and you can talk to ChatGPT and basically ask him to do exactly what you want. For instance, if you copy this code here and paste it, let's say you don't understand, there is something that you don't understand in this code, please go ahead and copy this code. Make sure that you sign up for this guy here called ChatGPT. It is an open AI, and if you paste it in here, it will go ahead and explain every single block of code here, what it's doing. And also, if you don't even know how, if you don't have a sample code, how to create an instance in AWS, you can always ask ChatGPT to write a sample code. And when it will write that sample code, you can basically grab the sample code and modify the code based on your needs, right? And you don't really need to go to the documentation, because this software, it is really, really powerful, and you can use it to grab the sample code. And from here, you can do whatever you want. You can ask ChatGPT now to add something that is not here. ChatGPT will go ahead and add that accordingly, right? That's it for this video today, and I hope it was really, really informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.